snuff-boxes at the same time, all the better. Where did he say it was kept? Prim leaned in, her focus on their task now that the young officer had gone off to dance with some other lady. "Oh, Prim, must you always forget the details halfway through the first waltz?" Rue rebuked her friend without rancour, more out of habit than aggravation. "So says the lady who hasn't waltzed with Mr. Rabifano." Prim turned to face the floor and twinkled at her former dance partner. The impeccably dressed gentleman in question raised his glass of champagne at her from across the room. "Aside from which, Mr. Rabifano is so very proud and melancholy. It is an appealing combination with that pretty face and vast millinery expertise. He always smiles as though it pains him to do so. It's quite intoxicating." "Oh, really, Prim? I know he looks no more than 20, but he's a werewolf and twice your age." "Like fine brandy, most of the best men are," was Prim's cheeky answer. "He's also one of my uncles. All the most eligible men in London seem to be related to you in some way or other. We must get you out of London then, mustn't we? Now, can we get on? I suspect the snuff-box is in the card-room." Prim's expression indicated that she failed to see how anything could be more important than the general availability of men in London, but she replied gamely, "And how are we, young ladies of respectable standing, to make our way into the gentleman's card-room?" Rue grinned. "You watch, and be prepared to cover my retreat." However, before Rue could get off onto the snuff-box, a mild voice said, "What are you about, little niece?" The recently discussed Mr. Rabifano had made his way through the crowd and come up behind them at a speed only achieved by supernatural creatures. Rue would hate to choose among her Paul's pack, but if pressed, Paul's beta, Uncle Rabifano, was her favourite. He was more older brother than uncle, his connection to his humanity still strong, and his sense of humour often tickled by Rue's stubbornness. "Wait and see," replied Rue pertly. Prim said, as if she couldn't help herself, "You aren't in attendance solely to watch Rue, are you, Mr. Rabifano? Could it be that you are here because of me as well?" Sandalio da Rabifano, second in command of the London pack and proprietor of the most fashionable hat shop in all of England, smiled softly at Prim's blatant flirting. "It would be a privilege, of course, Miss Tunstall, but I believe that gentleman there—" He nodded in the direction of an Egyptian fellow who lurked uncomfortably in a corner. "Poor Gaji. 2 decades fraternizing with the British, and he still can't manage." Prim tutted at the vampire's evident misery. "I don't know why Queen Mum sends him. Poor dear, he does so hate society." Rue began tapping her foot. Prim wouldn't notice, but Uncle Rabifano would most certainly hear. Rabifano turned towards her, grateful for the interruption. "Very well. If you persist in meddling, go meddle." "As if I needed pack sanction." "Convinced of that, are you?" Rabifano tilted his head eloquently. Sometimes it was awfully challenging to be the daughter of an alpha werewolf. Deciding she'd better act before Uncle Rabifano changed his mind on her father's behalf, Rue glided away, a purposeful waft of pale pink and black lace. She hadn't Prim's elegance, but she could make a good impression if she tried. Her hair was piled high atop her head and was crowned by a wreath of pink roses, Uncle Rabifano's work from earlier that evening. He always made her feel pretty. And tall. Well, taller. She paused at the refreshment table, collecting 4 glasses of bubbly and concocting a plan. At the card-room door, Rue reached for a measure of her dear mother's personality, sweeping it about herself like a satin capelet. Personalities, like supernatural shapes, came easily.